Joker the Fool here, and John's Long Box was so nice to invite me over to his place to show me his collection. So why don't you start off with who you are, what you do, and what your favorite parts of your collection are.
Hey, this is John from John's Long Box on YouTube. I also have Heroic Tales 2 on Fund My Comic. This is my comic book room. So this is, I did a couple of videos in here, but this is original art, well, and a print from, like, here's the cover from Heroic Tales number 1 by Mike Gustovich. This is the actual cover from Pat Broderick, Michael T. Gilbert. This is an original page from Tonic Ball Saving the World number 1. This is actually the first appearance of Kiara in a costume. I can't believe he sent it to me. And then Brian Bao did Wolf and Batsy. This is from Horace H. Hoover. And then T-Bird and Throttle by Josh Howard. And Brian sent me this because I've been promoting his comics so much. I didn't ask him, but he just sent me that. That's so nice. The original artwork. But this is my comic book room. I can't believe I have original art now.
Yeah.
And then over here, this is the beginning of my collection. So I start in numerical order, and then A, and then, you know, keep going A's like as you can see. This is Arion. I'll pull this out over here. This is, you know, Astro City, and then over here is Avengers.
Yeah.
Solo. That's how I do everything. So
yeah.
So I go by the alphabetical order, but instead of Solo Avengers featuring Hawkeye, this is Avengers Solo.
Yeah.
You know, like over here is BPRD. Like Dark Horse Presents. I'm just going for the easier ones to grab.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm sure everybody wants to see over here. This is Fantastic Four number 1.
Oh, wow. That is a classic one.
Yeah. So Fantastic Four number 9. So I'm missing 2 to 8. I thought I had more. And then from 10 up, I got every issue.
Yeah?
Yeah. 10, 11, 12, 13. And
so
Fantastic Four goes all the way to like here.
Oh.
You know, so I think, yeah, to this box. And then we got Fear itself.
It's more like the comics that you don't have. That's
yeah, I you could say that. Like,
yeah.
Now I guess I'll show some other cool stuff like Avengers number 1.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Yeah, really good condition too.
Yeah,
yeah, and I got every Avengers.
Yeah, you got all these bagged and boarded. You're taking.
Yeah, and alphabetized, and I'm only missing a few. Like, I don't have Amazing Fantasy 15, and I don't have the first Iron Man, but I got this rolling table so I can sort.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. This is the first Journey into Mystery right here.
Yeah, that's an absolute. I always love these retro covers, like because you got all that text. So that's something that the Rippaverse does with their cover Bs.
Yeah. I don't have all of the Thors yet, but I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Another comic guy, Usagi Yojimbo. I've been collecting the Stan Sakai is the best.
Yeah.
I love that. I got a couple of boxes full of these. And then I accidentally bought these. I didn't realize that they were CGC.
These are graded. So yeah, you said
this I was just missing. It was like $7, and then I got it CGC. I was like, oh man.
So yeah, you said you don't like the
No, I'm philosophically opposed to this. This isn't a comic book. This is a collector's card.
Yeah.
But I bought another copy. It was like, I don't know, like $10 or so.
Yeah.
So I got it, and then I bought another copy for my collection. I don't know. I feel like opening it up is a waste because I already have the comic, so I feel like just selling it. Yeah. Like, nobody's gonna buy this.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like the slabs because, you know, if you want to keep them as collectibles, especially the Signature series.
Like this I'm going to open up.
Yeah. So
I'm going to break this out of the slab because I'm just missing number 3 of the original 4-issue series. When I get 3, I'm going to crack these open and read them. Yeah. So I'm probably going to do this one live. But and I think I got one more. So these are my 4 slabs that I'm just not interested in.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of slabs, and they're all for Rippaverse. So I understand the idea of being against slabs, but I always like CGC is really high quality with their slabs.
Like I ordered this, and it was like cover price, and it comes this was Discount Comic Book Service, so I just ordered the next issue of the series, and they must have messed up and sent me this. So I was like, oh man, it was like a $3 comic book.
Yeah.
So I just bought another copy. Maybe I'll auction them off or whatever. What do you want to see? Like, I kind of just put alphabetical order. I don't care about the company.
No, I think this is a pretty good overview. I just wanted to get
you can show just a little bit more of my craziness.
Yeah.
Check this out right here.
And then maybe we can talk about Heroic Tales #2.
Okay.
A little bit.
This is everything Marvel United. If you could see this, this is a board game with little chibi miniatures of the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, the X-Men. This is just, you can only get this if you kickstarted it. So this was like a reward for Kickstarters. Yeah. This is the second reward for Kickstarters. This is the multiverse stuff. Like, I'm one of those crazy people that in for a penny, in for a pound.
Yeah.
Like there's one of these boxes has a gigantic Galactus in it.
Yeah, and then you got all the stuff that's back there.
Yeah, more board games back there.
So yeah.
These comics right here. So this is comics I haven't read yet.
Yeah, and then
so that's an alphabetical order from A down, and I do it backwards. So these I have to read.
Yeah.
And then these are just, a lot of these are just empty boxes right here. These are magazines. So I don't know if you could tell, but these are different sizes. So this is like Eclipse magazines. I really like these. And they stopped making them, but these are just the newsprint. They were making archive editions. So this is like the chronological order of all the Batmans. I love these. And then chronological orders of all the Green Lanterns. Just cheap, affordable, readable copies for somebody like me. Superman Chronicles, so this is just chronological order of
yeah, I mean, this is a fantastic collection.
So I love those. So to me, that's like historical documents. I mean, I can't afford those original comics, so that's the next best thing.
Yeah.
This is just me sorting comics. So these are the comics that I read. So I put them in alphabetical order, put them in little boxes so that they don't fall down. And then I just take one box out at a time, put them away. For a long time, when I broke my neck, it was hard to move the boxes. And then I was inactive for like 6 months. Now I'm finally at the point where I could lift the boxes and move them again. So
yeah, no,
this room was you came at the right time. A month ago, this was just destroyed mess.
Yeah.
I guess I'll show you my spinner rack.
Yeah.
This is Heroic Tales #1 with all the covers. So this is the Mike Gustovich. This sold the least. So I ordered the same amount of every copy.
Yeah.
So this one I have the most of, and I felt bad because I made a mistake. I put the variant covers, on Fund My Comic I launched first, and that had the Pat Broderick. So that sold a lot, this cover. And then I did Kickstarter second, and I put the
I forget exactly
Michael Gilbert cover.
Yeah, I don't think I have that one, but I love what you did with the Patriarch. There was a lot you established with this story, and I'm really interested to see where you take his character next.
Right, because a couple of people have been asking what's his origin.
Yeah.
And I say I purposely didn't tell it because his origin's pretty complicated.
Yeah.
And it was funny because there was a big thing on Twitter today about world building, and it's like it's big part of the world, and I was like, people aren't gonna. I started writing it, and my friends were like, nobody cares about your world, so nobody cares about the origin. So I was like, you know what? I'll introduce the hero. So issue 1 is just the introduction of the hero, like he's got his family.
Yeah, no, I love this. And one, it's got this really nice familial sense, but I love the purple because, that's Roman royalty, and you've got the wreath there. So, I mean, I know you know about Roman history.
Right. I have a degree in Roman history, so like that meme about all men think about the Roman Empire. It's totally true. I think about the Roman Empire every day.
Yeah, well, with the Roman Republic and the Roman monarchy, because I think that gets a bit lost in the Roman Empire, because it's like Augustus afterwards, and then that's what we focus on.
So, his name is the Patriarch, and then I was like, I wanted him to be fatherhood, and then the name Patriarch is Greco-Roman. Yeah. So I wanted to keep that theme. So purple, signifying, like you said, the emperor, the wreath for victory, and then white just for purity. He's a good guy. So I haven't really talked about it much, but his real name is James Kelly. Mm-hmm. He's an Irish. He wasn't really religious, but his wife is Marissa Kelly, and she's Greek Orthodox. So he kind of became Greek Orthodox. They have a big family, and he's just like, you know, rediscovered his religion. You know, she always has her cross on and everything. She's burnt up, as you can see. I'll talk about that in Patriarch number 2, but I'm kind of just keeping people guessing right now.
Yeah.
So there's a big, like I said, a big convoluted story about, not convoluted, complicated story about his origin that I didn't want to half-ass it and reduce it, you know. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to hit the ground running, introduce the character. I'm hoping everybody likes the character now so that they'll be invested in his origin. Sorry about the dryer.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I personally really like, I like the idea of this character. And one, you know, this is, of course, with modern Marvel and DC, where everyone has to be, you know, a gay communist. He's the antithesis to that.
Right.
So,
I got so tired of the fathers being the butt of all the jokes, you know. Just today, I turn on my computer, Yahoo comes up, and the first article is, cheating on your husband may make you a better wife.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on? Every article is like, so I also tired of like comics like The Boys. Like, it's just, as much as I love Garth Ennis, The Boys just disturbs me. And you know, so I'm like, I want to make a good, wholesome superhero, but at the same time, like, you can't just make an Archie comic. So there's going to be stakes. Like, I'm actually worried about how something I just wrote last night is going to be perceived, probably in Patriarch number 2. So right now, the only comic I have is Heroic Tales 1.
Yeah.
And Heroic Tales was originally, like, here's the main cover. Heroic Tales originally was just going to be a different superhero every issue.
Yeah.
And then I put in 2 stories, and then people are like, no, you got to continue the Patriarch in issue 2. We like the Patriarch. And I'm like, uh-oh. You know, if I don't give them what they want, I'm going to, not attacked, but maybe abandoned or whatever. So I was like, all right, so the flagship character is the Patriarch. Every issue is going to have a Patriarch story. And then the second story will be a rotating. And then I was like, there's so much with the Patriarch, I'm going to give him his own book.
I think that's justified, because you put a lot of care into the Patriarch.
Yeah, I love this character.
Yeah, exactly, and you can feel that passion. I certainly did with reading through that. There was a lot that went on, but I think it was really well structured, especially for a first effort.
Thank you.
And it's just like, I just want to know, like, the world this character lives in and what makes him tick, and his family as well. And you seem to, whenever you talk about this, you always talk about, like, this is going to happen in, like, Patriarch 3, or you got Mary Sue. You've got all this.
Yeah, I got, well, I originally had 1 to 10 of Heroic Tales planned.
Yeah.
But then, in a good way, my plans changed. People want more Patriarch, so I'm pushing him back into his own comic. So my next campaign, right now on Fund My Comic, I have Heroic Tales 2. Next issue is going to be Heroic Tales 3. It's going to continue the story of Mary Sue, who I introduced in 2, and then I'm going to introduce another character, the Raven. I have to tell these stories in this order for the grand story to make sense. Issue number 1 of the Patriarch. I was always planning that his third appearance was going to be his origin. So now I could tell his origin in a 40-page book the way I wanted it to.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, oh, good. I don't have to cut this out, and I don't have to cut that out. So now it's going to be this, I think, and then issue number 2, we're going to deal with, why does the family live on a farm? Mm-hmm. You know, they homeschool. Like, you don't know this stuff yet, but he doesn't even have a bank account. Yeah. You know, he literally pays for stuff that the family can't produce with gold coins that he salvages from, like, pirate ships. You know, he uses his abilities to, you know, he'll fly out to sea and bring up treasure chests from old Spanish ships from the 1600s. So people love when he shows up. Yeah. He's a music fan. Again, you didn't pick that up, but him and his wife, they met through their love of music. Mm-hmm. So he goes to this record store, and that's going to be a whole story of the record store people. And he goes there and he just gives gold doubloons. Yeah. You know, and then he's going to go out, fight a monster. The record's broken. He goes back to guys like, don't worry about it. You know, you paid for this record 1,000 times over. Here's another copy. Things like that. But things happened that they live in the mountains. I'm being vague because you're not supposed to know where they live. Like, I feel like I'm going to betray them if I tell where they live. Yeah. But there's hints. She's disfigured. Yeah. That's the wife. And all the kids are going to have stories. But at the same time, like, the son now, he's 19. Mm-hmm. Does he want to live on a farm in the mountains for the rest of his life? Yeah. You know what I mean? And they're good kids. Yeah, there's that conflict there. Do I let them go? Like, so that's going to be like... That's going to be I think it's a great source of conflict. But the whole thing is that
you know, you're going at this a way where all the characters are competent. You're not doing this to denigrate the family structure.
No, they're a good like this girl. She has a story that I think people are going to get mad at me about.
Yeah.
But they do everything right. But sometimes you do everything right.
Yeah.
And kids either rebel or they make their own decisions. Like, they're not tyrants.
Yeah.
They'll let the kids make their own decisions. This kid is going to be, you see, he's got I always forget that character's name for Pokemon or Naruto. He wants to be a superhero so bad.
Yeah.
You know, he wants to be just like dad. But in my world, the superpowers don't pass through your genes.
Yeah.
You don't know the origin yet. You'll see. So he's going to be disappointed that he's not getting superpowers, you know. She produces a lot of twins. That's why why they have so many kids. The twins are in her side of the family. This is Michael T. Gilbert. He does Mr. Monster.
Yeah.
He just was like, can I do a humorous cover? Because I try to make it that the cover represents the inside, but I'm not going to argue with Michael T. Gilbert.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
Well, it's a bit of a running gag in comics that you have covers that don't at all represent what goes on. And I mean, this is like an Archie style of, if I'm getting it correctly, but I love the retro style. So this cover just works.
Well, this is it's after Kurt Swan. There's a Superboy comic where Superboy is having a picnic. So they fight the robotic ants. So the ants taking the wife. I just was like, Michael T. Gilbert, you are the right to do whatever you want.
Okay.
And Mike Gustovich was like, he loved my bad guy. So he's like, can I put the bad guy prominently on the cover? So I was like, yeah, sure you can.
Yeah, this is a fantastic cover, and I love the Patriarch's logo.
Yeah, that was Nick Axe designed that. He's working with RJ for the Fourth Age. He's doing a comic called Crom the Destroyer. Talented guy. You know, he did my original covers.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he did the dress for the cover.
Yeah, I think. Is there anything else you want to say? I feel like if we keep talking, you're just going to go into stuff that you're not supposed to be talking about.
Right. Here's where I do my recording. That's my stack of comics that I got to read.
Yeah. My
board games. I don't know.
We're talking about Civ 5 a little bit.
Yeah.
So I have a Roman Empire in Civ 5, and I've got like the entire world. Well, not just about. I'm breaking into Asia and North America, but like I don't know. Sometimes it's I have it on super easy. So like
I play on marathon. So the longest game, hardest difficulty. And the most amount of opponents.
Yeah.
I'll play for 2 months.
Yeah. And I'm at the point where it takes like 20 minutes for the turn to...
Yeah. That's what I do. I'll hit end and I'll read comics until it cycles through my thing. Yeah. I don't know what else you want me to talk about.
No, I think that's
all the stickers. Every time I back a comic, I put their stickers on so you could get a good...
I got that. I saw... Fiendish right there.
Yeah.
Really nice. But yeah, I think as a fantastic tour, we've been going for just about 20 minutes.
Okay.
So that's absolutely fantastic.
Thanks for coming by.
And thank you for inviting me. But that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you for stopping by the Velvet Room. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you can keep up with Velvet Room Publishing. And go to velvetroompublishing.com if you want to go even deeper into the Velvet Room.